Shalom, welcome to Tactically Torah. I am Heath Hayes, and today, while my wife is shopping, I am going to read Exodus chapters 36, 37, and 38 for Read the Bible in a Year. I believe this is day 30, and let's get started. If you're following along in the scriptures, it's on page 97, by the way. Here we go. In Bezalel and Oholiab and every wise-hearted man in whom Yahweh has given wisdom and understanding to know how to do all the work of the service of the set-apart place shall do according to all that Yahweh commanded. And Moshe called in Bezalel and Oholiab and every wise-hearted man in whose heart Yahweh had given wisdom, everyone whose heart lifted him up to come do the work. And they received from Moshe all the contribution which the children of Israel had brought for the work of the service of making a set-apart place, but they still brought to him voluntary offerings every morning. So all the craftsmen who were doing all the work of the set-apart place came, each from the work he was doing. And they spoke to Moshe, saying, The people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which Yahweh has commanded us to do. Then Moshe commanded, and they sent this word throughout the camp, saying, Let neither man nor woman do any more work of the contribution of the set-apart place. And the people were withheld from bringing. For what they had was enough for all the work to be done, more than enough. Then all the wise-hearted ones among them who worked on the dwelling place made 10 curtains, woven of fine linen and blue and purple and scarlet material, and they made them with the cherubim, the work of a skilled workman. And the length of each curtain was 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits, and the curtains having one measure. And he joined the 5 curtains one to another, and the other 5 curtains he joined one to another. And he made loops of blue on the edge of the curtain of one set, and the same he did on the edge of the curtain of the other set. 50 loops he made on one curtain, and 50 loops he made on the edge of the end of the second set, the curtain of the second set. The loops held one curtain to another, and he made 50 hooks of gold and joined the curtains to each other with the hooks, and the dwelling place became one. And he made curtains of goat's hair for the tent of the dwelling place. He made 11 curtains. The length of each curtain was 30 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits, and 11 cubits, having one measure. And he joined 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves. And he made 50 loops on the edge of the end of one set, and 50 loops he made on the edge of the curtain of the second set. And he made 50 bronze hooks to join the tent to be one. And he made a covering for the tent of rams, skins, dyed red, and a covering of fine leather above that. And for the dwelling place he made boards of acacia wood standing up. The length of each board was 10 cubits, and the width of each board 1.5 cubits. Each board had 2 tenons for binding one to another. So he did to all the boards of the dwelling place. And he made boards of the dwelling place, 20 boards for the south side, and he made 40 sockets of silver to go under the 20 boards, and the 2 sockets under each of the boards for its 2 tenons. And for the other side of the dwelling place, for the north side, he made 20 boards, and there 40 sockets of silver to be sockets under the one board, and 2 sockets under the other board. Verse 27. And he made 6 boards for the west side of the dwelling place, and he made 2 boards for the 2 back corners of the dwelling place. and they were double beneath, and similarly they were complete to the top by one ring. So he did to both of them for the two corners. And there were 8 boards in their silver sockets, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under each of the boards. And he made the bars of acacia wood, 5 for the boards on one side of the dwelling place, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the dwelling place. The 5 bars for the boards of the dwelling place at the rear westward. And he made the middle bar pass through the boards from one end to the other, and he overlaid the boards with gold, and their rings he had made of gold to be holders for the bars, and overlaid the bars with gold. And he made a veil of blue and of purple and scarlet material and fine worked linen, and it was made with cherubim, the work of a skilled workman. And he made 4 columns of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold, and with their hooks of gold, and he cast 4 sockets of silver for them, and he made a covering for the tent door, blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine woven linen, made by a weaver, and its 5 columns with their hooks, and he overlaid their top and their rings with gold, but their 5 sockets were of bronze. Chapter 37. And Bezalel made the ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, and 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. And he overlaid it with clean gold inside and outside, and made a molding of gold all around it. And he cast 4 rings of gold for it. It's 4 feet, 2 rings on its side, and 2 rings on its other side. He made poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold, and he put the poles into the rings in the sides of the ark to lift the ark. And he made the lid of atonement of clean gold, 2.5 cubits long and 1.5 cubits wide. And he made 2 cherubim of beaten gold, and he made them from the 2 ends of the lid of atonement. 1 cherub on one side, on the end on this side, and the other at the other end on that side. And he made cherubim from the lid of atonement from the 2 ends. And the cherubim spread out their wings above and covered the lid of atonement with their wings with their faces towards each other. The faces of the cherubim were turned toward the lid of atonement, and he made the table of acacia wood, 2 cubits long, 1 cubit wide, and 1.5 cubits high. And he overlaid it with clean gold, and made the molding of gold all around it. And he made a rim of a handbreadth all around it, and made the molding of gold for the rim all around it. And he cast 4 rings of gold for it, and he put the rings on the 4 corners that were at its 4 legs. The rings were next to the rim as holders for the poles of the to lift the table. And he made poles of acacia wood to lift the table, and overlaid them with gold. And he made the utensils which were on the table, its dishes and its cups and its bowls and its jars for pouring, of clean gold. He made the lampstand of gold, and made the lampstand of beaten work. Its base and its shaft and its cups and its ornamental knobs and its blossoms were from it. And 6 branches came out of its sides, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of the other side. And there were 3 cups like almond, flowers on one branch with ornamental knob and blossom, and 3 cups like almond flowers on the other branch, a knob and blossom. So for the 6 branches coming out of the lampstand. And on the lampstand were 4 cups like almond flowers, its knob and blossoms, and a knob under the first 2 branches of the same, and a knob under the second 2 branches of the same, and the knob under the third 2 branches of the same. For the 6 branches coming out of it. Their knobs and their branches were of it. All of it was one beaten work of clean gold. And they made it 7 lamps, and its snuffers and its trays of clean gold. And he made it of a talent of clean gold, and all its utensils. And he made the incense slaughter place of acacia wood, a cubit long, and a cubit wide, square, and 2 cubits high. Its horns were of it. And he overlaid it with clean gold, its top and its sides all around, and its horns. And he made a molding for it of gold all around it. And he made 2 rings of gold for it under its molding, at its 2 corners on both sides, as holders for the poles with which to lift it. And he made the poles of acacia wood, and overlaid them with gold. And he made the set apart anointing oil, and the clean incense of sweet spices, according to the work of the perfumer. Chapter 38. And he made the slaughter place of the ascending offering of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide, square, and 3 cubits in length, or in high. And he made its horns on its 4 corners, and the horns were of it, and he overlaid it with bronze. And he made all the utensils for the slaughter place, the pots and the shovels and the basins and the forks and the fire holders. He made all its utensils of bronze. And he made a grating for the slaughter place, a bronze network under its rim, midway from the bottom. And he cast 4 rings on the 4 corners of the bronze grating as holders for the poles. And he made the poles of acacia wood, and overlaid them with bronze. And he put the poles into the rings on the sides of the slaughter place, with which to lift it. And he made a slaughter place. He made the slaughter place hollow with boards. Verse 8. And he made a basin of bronze, and its stand of bronze, and from the bronze mirrors of the serving woman who did service at the door of the tent of appointment. And he made the courtyard. For the south side of the screens of the courtyard were of fine woven linen, 100 cubits long. Their 20 columns and their 20 sockets of bronze. The hooks of the columns and their bands were of silver. And for the north side, the screens were 100 cubits long, their 20 columns and their 20 sockets of bronze. The hooks of the columns and their bands were of silver. And for the west side, there were screens of 50 cubits, their 10 columns and their 10 sockets. The hooks of the columns and their bands were of silver. And for the east side, eastward, 50 cubits, 15 cubits of the screens on the one side, and with their 3 columns and their 3 sockets, and 15 cubits of the screens on the other side of the courtyard gate, on this side and that side, and with their 3 columns and with their 3 sockets. All the screens of the courtyard all around were fine woven linen. And the sockets for the columns were of bronze, and the hooks of the columns and their bands were of silver, and the overlay of their tops was of silver. And all the columns of the courtyard had bands of silver. And the covering for the gate of the courtyard was a work of an embroiderer of blue and purple and scarlet material, and of fine woven linen, and 20 cubits long, and the height along its width was 5 cubits, corresponding to the screens of the courtyard. And the columns were 4, in their sockets of bronze 4, their hooks of silver, and the overlay of their tops and their bands was silver. And all the pegs of the dwelling place and of the courtyard all around were of bronze. These were the appointments of the dwelling place. The dwelling place of the witness, which was appointed by the mouth of Moshe for the service of the Levites by the hand of Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest, and Bezalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, made all that Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And with him Oholiab, son of Ahishamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver and designer, an embroiderer in blue and purple and scarlet material and in fine linen, all the gold prepared for the work, in all the work of the set apart place, and it was the gold of the wave offering came to be 29 talents and 730 shekels, according to the shekel of the set apart place. And the silver from the ones counted of the congregation was 100 talents and 1,775 shekels, according to the shekel of the set apart place. A bekah, half a shekel for a head, according to the shekel of the set apart place, for everyone passing over to those counted from 20 years old and above, for 603,550 men. So 603,550 men. And the 100 talents of silver were for casting the sockets of the set apart place and the bases of the veil. 100 sockets from the 100 talents, a talent for each socket, and of the 1,775 shekels he made hooks for the columns and overlaid their tops and made bands for them. And the bronze of the wave offering was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. And with it he made the sockets for the door of the tent of appointment, and the bronze slaughter place, and the bronze grating for it, and all the utensils for the slaughter place, and the sockets for the courtyard all around, and the bases for the courtyard gates, and all the pegs for the dwelling place, and all the pegs for the courtyard all around. And next time we get into chapter 39, and I believe we will finish it out with 39 and 40.